Hi everybody, my name is Justin Stoney and I'm the founder of New York Vocal Coaching here in New York City. Welcome to episode 44 of Voice Lessons to the World, the show where we want to help you guys as singers by answering your questions from all over. And I'll give you a chance to ask questions later, but our questions for this week actually are going to be 3. This week you're going to get 3 in 1, and that's the name of the episode. And the reason why is, I just feel so fortunate that you guys are sending questions literally from all over the world. Some of the finest vocal questions I can think of coming in from all over the globe. And some of these questions, they just aren't meant to take up an entire episode. They're not that kind of question. They're a little more fun and we can get right to the point. So today I'm going to answer 3 questions for you guys in one episode. First question though comes from Louisa L. in Melbourne, Australia. And Louisa writes, "Dear Justin, is it bad to clear my throat?" And thank you for that great question, Louisa, because people do think that it's going to harm you to be clearing your throat. And let me be the first to tell you, no, don't worry about clearing your throat. We want to be using common sense when we're working on our voice and when we're studying voice. And we know that there's so many things that are actually natural about the human voice that people in voice land have gotten so fearful about and planted fear in singers' minds, and we want to break that, right? It's natural to clear your throat, right? You have some phlegm, you have some mucus, you need to be able to do that is not bad. Now, what is that? That's going to be your inner arytenoid muscles, and your lateral cricoarytenoids, bringing the cords together as air is passing through. So it is a little bit of a squeeze, right? And also a little lifted larynx, right? To bring it together. Now there's the reason people say it's bad, because you got a little squeeze going on, right, with the cords, and then you got a little bit of a lifted larynx, right? You're pushing a little bit of air through that squeeze. I will say that's not the greatest thing if you've got a really sore voice, if you've got a vocal damage of any kind or a vocal injury, or just you're really tired, you've been doing a lot of singing, go ahead and avoid clearing your throat. That's smart advice. But the idea that we shouldn't ever do it, or that it's going to ruin our voice, or a singer should not be clearing their throat, this is a little bit too much fear being placed in you guys' hearts. So I want to get rid of that. Go ahead, clear your voice. Just watch it if you're a little bit tired. Okay? So that's question number 1. Thank you, Louisa. I loved it. Second question comes from Blake M. in Portsmouth, Ohio. And Blake writes, "Dear Justin, why do I always feel like I have to yawn when I'm going to sing?" That's another good one. We do. A lot of times in warm-ups, or if you're in a choir and you're starting to sing, you may feel this temptation to yawn when you're singing. And this is not a bad thing or a good thing necessarily. It's just a thing that you guys may have noticed as singers, that you feel a need to yawn when you go to sing a little bit. And here's the reason why. When we're singing, we're usually inviting more air into the body, right? And often we're singing with a lowered larynx, right? And often with a higher soft palate. Now, I promise you guys, I'm going to talk to you about the soft palate in a major way in the future. We need to discuss that. But for now, know that when air comes into the body, the soft palate often lifts and the larynx will drop. Cords will part. We're inviting air in as it's about to come out in a specific way. So that's the same kind of thing when I yawn. I feel all of that space. So there's something about when we see somebody else yawn, when we hear a kind of round sound, or when our body's needing more air, that we are tempted to yawn. And so singing has a lot of those components in it, and it just sort of reminds the brain of those things, and you might feel like you've got to yawn. So that's why, Blake, that's why singers often yawn when they're working on their voices. Great question. Now, question number 3 comes from Jacob W. in Brooklyn, New York. And Jacob writes, "Dear Justin, Should I become fat to sing? That's a good one too. All right, Jacob, so here's my flat out answer. No, don't do that. A lot of people do admire singers of great girth, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I cannot recommend you actually gaining weight to improve your voice. Now here's some truths. The body is a sympathetic resonator to your voice, right? So the bigger the resonator, the bigger the sound. Our primary resonators are up here in the pharynx and in the nasal cavity, but the body itself is a sympathetic resonator as well. So you will get a bigger sound, honestly, if you're a bigger person. But I can't tell you guys to go out there and gain weight to try to change your voice or improve your voice. There's so many people who are willing to do destructive things to themselves for their entertainment career, for their singing career. And think about it. You don't want to do that, right? You want to be true to yourself. You want to be healthy. It's not worth doing something destructive. It's not worth putting on a bunch of weight in order to get better at your voice. Let your voice be true. Let it be beautiful within what you've got. And to be honest with you guys, I think getting a really good regimen of cardio, of strength, of flexibility, being in great physical shape, that's so much better for you, for your mental health, for your physical health, and for your singing than it ever would be to purposefully put on tons of weight for your voice. Now, if you're already a bigger singer, still try to keep in good shape, but know that it's not also going to be negative for your voice to be a little bit of a bigger person. But nobody out there ought to be doing destructive things for their singing voice or for their singing career. Use what you've got, use what God gave you, and be happy with that. Don't try to do something destructive to change it. That's just my personal advice to you. And so there's your 3 for 1. 3 very quite fun questions from Louisa, Blake, and Jacob. I thank you guys so much. And just keep these questions coming because we're so glad to be able to do 3 in 1. We just got hundreds and hundreds coming in from all over the world. And I promise you I'm going to do everything I can to answer them all for you guys. So I hope that's been helpful for you today as singers. If you guys have questions that you'd like to see us answer on the show, you can send an email to questions@voicelessonstotheworld.com. And we just encourage you, don't lose that joy, don't lose that passion. Keep those questions rolling in, and don't let anybody tell you you can't sing, because you and I both know it's not true. Get with a great voice teacher in your area, or if you guys are in New York City, you can visit www.newyorkvocalcoaching.com. We also do Skype if you guys would like to do that. And I do encourage you guys to download our free app. It's for iPad, iPhone, hopefully more soon. A lot of great resources on there, free tips, free articles, videos, everything. And you can also visit www.voicelessonstotheworld.com. I'm Justin Stoney. We'll see you next time.